I'm Jen and I live in London. This is my house where I live with my husband and 2 children, which is part of an intentional community. We've got 2 other houses on this block and they have families and also some single people that live there as well. Lots of us have brought in different desires and visions, but we are committed to each other, and I think that's one of the things I find most life-giving and kind of countercultural. When you live this closely with other people, you can't curate your identity, so people see everything. I'd say since I was a teenager, I have experienced, I guess, what's now called generalized anxiety. Anxiety tends to, in a normal situation, be born of a particular occasion. Something happens like a big exam's coming up, something like that that naturally would induce anxiety in a person. They feel anxious, and then the exam passes, and then the anxiety goes. With the anxiety that I experienced, you start to realize that the anxiety isn't so much something that's born out of a particular occasion as something that is like a permanent resident in your life that doesn't need any particular scenario to generate it. And in that sense, it's quite draining. It has a huge impact on everything. I think one of the ways in which I found it most challenging is when it's robbed me of my sense of connection and knowing myself, or connection and knowing someone else. I noticed that I would disconnect from people. God is probably the first person that I do that from, but it doesn't work for me. I cannot sustain myself on my own. There have definitely been times when I felt like, yes, my individual faith is important, but there are times when I've been so anxious that really what's held me together is the faith of other people. And in that sense, faith community takes on real meaning for me, that it isn't just about my isolated individualist faith, it's about us as a faith community and the way that we can hold each other up as well as hold out the word of truth to each other when somebody's actually struggling to hold that for themselves. When there's someone around me who has a little bit more hope or a little bit more faith, or whose trust in God is just a little bit less shaken than mine at that moment, and who knows me in a broader term than just my anxiety, just somehow having a sense or a glimpse that there is something beyond my anxiety and it's being held by the people around me is hugely significant. People do better living in community. People with mental health issues definitely are better off having access to a community. And the idea that you can be in a community that is connected to the God who you might feel estranged from, but that is the God who is closer to you than you are to yourself, is like an anchor and a lifeline.